Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to all my witches, warlocks, writers, and wonders. Today is Monday, March 24th, 2025. I am KibbyRose. I am the Authortubes lesbian psychic stoner, and I am here to entertain you with some witchy things, some horoscopy things, some readings, and some current day rants. And today, a little bit of a review on the new Snow White movie. So let me run the opener and we can get on with it. All right, so for anybody who's new here and all of my clients, let me give a little rundown of the things we're going to be talking about and how we do it around here. The first couple rants, I have some announcement that we're going to do, and then I'm going to do my Snow White rant. Then we do a 10-minute sprint. After that, we're going to cover the new moon energies and the current planetary influences. And I have a couple car readings for Tracy, Becky, Noah, and Evie. And then I do a 20-minute sprint, and then I do a current events rant and discussion of, we've got a lot of planetary aspects, so that's probably what I'm going to cover then. Then another 20-minute sprint, and then after that, we do horoscopes. So that is kind of how we're going to be running things today for the most part. I have quite a few announcements to go over, and then, man, my opinion on Snow White. Okay, so first of all, if you guys haven't checked them out yet, please go check out my recently uploaded videos. You can find them under the videos department for the St. Patrick's Day with Jack Byron Writes. We got a little drinky and a little discussion going on and everything else. I had to edit it down because YouTube didn't like a little bit of what we conversated about. So yeah, it kind of got private, or yeah, anyway, so that's up. And then I have a Book of Shadows work in progress video that's up. It's just a fast speed with music behind it kind of thing of showing how I put together the book. I do have the actual show off of the book coming soon. It's still in my editing bay. It's been a busy weekend, guys. It was my mom's birthday, so we had to celebrate. Into April, hopefully we're still going to have Law Tea launch. I have a new idea of a new way that maybe we're going to do it. So Cora, I have to talk to you because I have an idea that might work out for all of us. We're also going to since Beltane celebration is the last week of March April into May. I don't know. No, it's not March into April. April into May, I'm going to do a free reading for the free readings for the streams for that week. And then on Monday, May 5th, we're going to do a Cinco de Mayo and a rebirthing stream. So I'm going to have like May Day celebration and quizzes that we're going to do. And then in June, we're going to have the littlest celebration, but I'm going to do another week of free readings from June 16th to June 20th. So for any of you that have been interested in getting a free reading or a new reading or testing me out to see if I'm worth the money that everybody else is paying to have me do reads for them, April 31st to May 4th is going to be the first week of free readings, and then June 16th to June 20th is going to be the second week of free readings. So on that note, let me get into, first of all, I'm going to say hi to some of, because since they just popped in. Hi, Cora. Hello, my dear. How are you? I will be in and out in dinner and bedtime. I do understand that, so no problem. And then Sandy. Hello, my dear. Hello. I'm so happy to see you girls here tonight, and welcome. So I'm about to go off on Snow White, okay? The only reason, so first of all, let me preface this way. Couple things first. Number one, why did I go see it? I hate movies because it was my mother's birthday. She had a gift card. She wanted to go see a movie with me. It was a mother-daughter date. And yes, it was kind of nice because we got to sit and talk about it afterwards because both of us very much had opinions on it. And secondly, well, I figured it would be kind of a good thing to review since I reviewed Wicked And I hate, well, hate is a very strong word. I dislike very strongly Ariana Grande for multiple reasons. However, I was able to review her character in that movie very diplomatically. So I figured I'd be able to do the same thing with this thing, with Snow White. Now, that said, that was such an evil smile. I already know it was. Because here's the thing, guys, okay? First opening opinion before I'm going to give you a little rundown and a little, first of all, spoilers, if just in case for anybody who's listening. Second of all, I'm going to kind of give you a little dicing of my opinion, and then I'm going to go through it note by note because I did take notes during the movie. Because it was better to take notes on a piece of paper than lean over and whisper during the movie. So, and then at the end, I have several people's opinions, including some lovely lady that I met in the lobby of the actual movie theater as we exited the movie. So, first of all, I'm going to say this. The first thing I said when I walked out of the theater was it a good movie? Nah, it was okay, but not $300 million okay. And that's another thing. I didn't find it good. My mom said it was good, but I think she was being polite. I didn't even really think it was that good. Was it bad? I don't want to say it was extremely bad because there were some good points to it. There were some good highlights to it. So starting with the opening scene, they had the classic book opener where the mom was telling the tale to the bird, the mother bird was telling the tale to the baby bird, to the kid bird type thing, because that's how the original movie opened. But this was more of a just book opening. If you remember the old Disney fairy tale openers where they just opened a book and it flipped a couple pages and then you dived into a picture of the story, that's kind of how they did it. First of all, it was blaringly obvious to me that one thing that built Snow White's character in the original book was the fact that her mother died at birth. Like, her father cherished her and she was so special because her mother died during childbirth. Did that happen in the movie? No. So the whole opening sequence was just okay. So they completely diverted from the entire premises of the storyline, including why she was named Snow White. And now they're going to come in with this mediocre song that sounded like it was written by AI with a 5-key piano sitting at somebody's desk, truthfully. It would have been a great, from the opening scene to the first opening song, like the first thought I had was this would be an amazing stage play. Why is it a movie? The next thing I noticed is it seems like that they were so uninspired or unimaginative in the dialogue writing portion of the movie that they had to fill it with songs literally I found them extremely cheesy, like very cheesy songs. Things, the type of songs that I did not even entertain the 5 and 6-year-olds that were sitting in the movie theater with us. Okay. Then we had Rachel. Guys, that was all before Rachel Zegler appeared. So, the first thing I watched her, I didn't make any notes until the end of her opening song because I wanted to give my full attention, mindfulness, perspective to it. My ending notes after the song was, she has 5 facial expressions in a 2-octave range. She is not a soprano. She is a second alto. And the mirror saying that she was the fairest one of all after that song. I have questions. Mirror. Seriously. So, basically, what is your criteria of judgment? I also have a notation of what's with the jaw. And here's why. I found throughout the entire opening sequence, she was this. It was like this to the camera. I swear all you saw was her jaw. And Rachel Zegler, you, metaphorically speaking and literally speaking, you have a very big mouth. And it was very distracting to the point where I even wrote down, what's with the jaw? Why are we excessively jawing to the screen? And with how big the screen is and how big your mouth is, your jaw, it was just excessive. So the next part that I wrote down notes was, the next sequence was when, she was sent out to be allowed to pick apples for whatever reason by the queen. The scene, I skipped over the scene that's the one scene that has been shown to the public already, and that's the sequence where Snow White and the queen have that conversation over the meal. Did I really think it was going to be that early in the movie? No. Honestly, I thought that scene was going to be towards the end. And truthfully, now after I watched the movie, I see why, there wasn't even a point for that whole sequence other than for Rachel Zegler to try to show off her acting. And I'm going to tell you guys, literally that scene was probably the most amount of acting that I saw from Rachel Zegler. And I was writing notes during it. So, and I simply wrote notes during it because it's the one scene that they showed off publicly. So I skipped over that. The next scene was the picking apple scene. Okay. First of all, they do not explain in any way how she switches from one complete, disrepaired, in shambles, I'm in rags type outfit and dress to makeup done, hair done in this gorgeous, all of a sudden she's a princess in a queen dress. Okay. It made no sense. And that's because they messed with the storyline and it didn't make sense. Anyway, so at this point, I literally was just like, I was so confused and lost in the storyline that I kind of stopped paying attention to the storyline at this point. And you will see that I literally got into details at this point because I was bored. Guys, I was bored. And for me, with an imagination like mine, for me to be bored, that was bad. And so I remember looking at the CGI animals because she runs through the forest. Okay, so the forest scene where the hunter, first of all, the hunter could have been far more convincing in the fact that he wanted to kill Snow White, truthfully, or that he was fighting with it. I don't want to say it was bad acting, but I do want to say that it wasn't movie quality acting. Like I said, this would have made an amazing stage play. The tumble scene and everything like that, truthfully, my head went, what is this, Alice in Wonderland? Because that's not how it was written in the book. In the book, she ran through the forest, not down a hole, tumbled out, through a tunnel. And y'all added a bunch of stuff to it that literally looked like it came straight. You took Alice in Wonderland's fall scene from when she was following the White Rabbit and stuck it in Snow White. You can't do that. You can't do that. We noticed stuff like that. Second of all, once she landed in the forest and the animals came out, the only thing I could notice is they literally spent so much money and so much attention to the CGI on the animals. You could tell it was AstroTurf. You could tell that she was on a fake set. You could literally tell the difference between the fake plants and guys, and for a movie set like Disney to have the fakeness in plants on the set itself that they did, I was appalled. It literally looked like a high school set, or not even a high school set, maybe a college set, but it definitely wasn't a Broadway level set, and it definitely wasn't a Disney level movie set. When you can tell they're fake flowers sticking out from behind a fake bush that is obviously sticking out of a fake set, I'm sorry, it was so obvious to me and it was so bad. It literally reminded me of the late 1980s when you could go to Universal Studios and actually play on the sets. That's what it reminded me of. It was bad. And Rachel's acting didn't help from it. Normally, I could see in other movies, maybe, but the acting would divert you from what was going on. But my whole thought was, what, you couldn't put any CGI on the grass or on the bushes or on the trees? You can tell that they're stiff as a board and that they're made of. Yeah. Anyway, so the next note I had was, okay, in the book, in the original movie, Snow White cleaned up a little bit. When she came upon the dwarf's house, she came, the animal's letter to the dwarf's house. She came up, first of all, I'm kind of ashamed of Disney on every level because Brothers Grimm never had the innocent animals doing breaking and entry on the dwarves' cottage in order to let this young lady in. However, Disney still has this perspective that it's okay for wild animals to break and enter, or help a young lady do so. But at least in the original version and in the Brothers Grimm version, after she entered the home, she at least picked up a little bit before she just crashed out on the bed. Does she do this in this movie? And no. She literally just walks in and crashes out on the bed. And I was just like, rude. How rude. Like, how rude. Anyway, next scene. This is when literally, and this is how good this scene was. All I have is the dwarves are fucking awesome. The whole hi-ho scene. Guys, I am not disappointed by the CGI dwarves, and I'll tell you why. They saved the movie, truthfully. If they hadn't had the CGI dwarves, the movie would have been, it really would have been bad. Okay. I don't know. And looking back on it, I'm all for diversity and getting more jobs in the industry. However, I don't think they could have found 7 dwarves or 7, like, I don't think you would have been able to do that with people. Honestly, there's certain characteristics that were already like, the way they did it through CGI, it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. It was subtle but sweet, and you got all of their personalities, even though they did announce themselves, but inevitably you got all of their personalities just by their body movements and their facial expressions. And like, they really did have different characteristics per but they had a similar look to them where it was cohesive. You knew somehow they were all related in a way. So there was something about that. The Hi Ho song was amazing. I absolutely loved the dwarves in like, they should have CGI'd the whole movie, truthfully. What I noticed at this point in the movie was that all the original songs they had kept from the original movie were great. Any of the newly created songs sucked. And the cohesiveness of the songs didn't work. Like, Hi Ho was so amazing on so many vocal levels, and it had so much depth and highs and meaning and it just I forget what musicality to it, that the other songs, it was like all the other songs fell flat in comparison. You could tell. And it's like the Disney magic. You could tell which songs were written when Disney still had their magic versus when evidently they're trying to get computers to create magic, and it doesn't work that way. So on the next thing, I loved the part where Snow White taught Dopey how to whistle because Dopey can't talk. However, for them to imply in any way that Snow White, who was 13 years old, was in any position to be teaching dwarves that were 249 years old, how anything, like how to clean, especially after they fed her, they housed her and everything else. I was appalled. Literally, I was absolutely appalled, because my whole thing is this. Yes, no, I'm okay. Yes and no. I'm not about the woman's work. However, if I stay over at somebody's house, and anybody can verify this, any of my friends can verify this. If I've stayed over at your house, I have been taught to leave it cleaner than when I came. When I babysat, when the kids went to bed, I often cleaned the kitchen or vacuumed or something. I always my mom taught me to leave places cleaner than I found them, especially if you don't have any money to give. And this was also something that we learned being homeless. Like, you could trade cleaning for food. Like, you could trade being staying at somebody's house one night to clean their bathroom or clean their kitchen. So for her to force the dwarves to literally clean their house after they housed her and fed her, and then send them off to go work in the mind after she made them clean their own. The whole time I was just sitting there just like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Is this literally what we're teaching people? Is what we're teaching our youth is to literally just not even be like, yes, yes, I asked for handouts and you gave me handouts. Now I'm going to demand that you listen to me and do as I say because you gave me handouts. Really? That's your DEI message? I was so disappointed. So, this is literally when I got restless. And I literally was just like, they ruined this song. They ruined Whistled While You Work. Up until this point, I was like, the regular music has been the saving grace. And she just ruined it. I couldn't enjoy the song worth anything now. They thank you, Rachel Zegler and the new Snow White, for literally destroying Whistle While You Work for me forever, literally. Because Whistle While You Work to me used to be, hey, you're doing a great thing for somebody who did an awesome thing for you. And you're doing it with happiness and with joy, and you're whistling while you work because you're so grateful that they did this for you. To now, to get through the pains of me making you clean up your own mess and clean your house, even though you were so grateful to me, I'm going to make you whistle. And it's like a punishment now. So forewarning to all of you that probably Whistle While You Work is going to get destroyed for you. The last thing I noticed is with the ending pose, like, I don't know if they did this on purpose or what, but they did Rachel Zegler wrong by the positioning of her feet with those shoes, literally with the red. And I was like, oh my God, clown feet. I kind of felt bad. There was a moment where I actually felt bad for Rachel Zegler because I was just like, why do you look like you have size 14 clodhoppers? Like, I don't know if that's true. I've never paid enough attention to her feet, but the camera angle, the ending pose, the red shoes. Oh, I felt really bad. So if you want a little giggle, look for that. Okay. And at this point, we're halfway through. And literally, guys, I was bored. I have halfway through and I'm bored. And I'm looking around the theater. We have kids climbing on the seats. We have people talking and leaving for the bathroom. And everyone is restless and moving. And there's only about 30 people in the theater. So this was opening weekend. So I found it interesting because at first I thought, is it just me? So because I was just like, wow, I'm kind of bored. And then literally I like kind of got distracted and I see this pair of this little pigtails, those little girl pigtails come popping up and climbing. And then I see a pair of feet and I'm like, yep, the kids are climbing over I was just like, man, the kids are. And then I looked down because this wonderful lady with 3 kids, and these were 10, 11, 12-year-olds. So they were definitely a little bit older, but I looked down at them and they were even all just like, they were entertaining themselves. And I'm like, for a Disney movie that is made, like, I'm wondering what the demographic was, because obviously the kids were not entertained at all. Not at all. And me, I'm 43. I was like, I'm bored. Like, what demographic are you going for, Disney? Because wasn't that the demographic that Disney used to grab? Was, the children and then the parent age? So that's halfway through the movie, guys. So at this point, I literally started just examining the details of the movie. It was one of my ways to kind of get myself through the movie, because there was a point when my mom got up to use the restroom, and I'm telling you guys, I was actually a little like, should we leave? No, it's her birthday. We're going to stay. I want to see until the end. But literally, if I A, wasn't reviewing this for you guys, and B, wasn't there with my mom, I probably would have walked out at that point. And I'm glad I didn't, because the best part of the movie was about to come up. And after that, I was like, okay, I'm glad I didn't leave. But at this point, I I was examining the details of the costumes and Cinderella's costume because I also remember her referencing that for how many hours she had to spend in that dress, she should get paid for all the streaming that happens. So I was like, okay, bored. Well, let me look at this costume. How uncomfortable could it be? Well, the next thing I realize is there's a love song being sung between Rachel Zegler and what I guess is supposed to be not the prince. I guess is what we're calling him now. So several thoughts popped into my head, and it was, first of all, I thought this wasn't a love story. I thought we weren't doing this whole thing. I thought it was weird how the prince just stalked the Snow White. So this wasn't the love story that they wrote. However, here I am listening to a love song. And you definitely in love, Snow White. You're definitely after the prince. And then my next thought was, okay, so I look up at the screen because I hear the song and I'm like, okay. And I see this not Prince Charming. And I'm like, wait a second. Okay. First of all, if you're going to have an attractive male lead in a movie, you want someone who's attractive enough where a lesbian like me even goes, okay, he's kind of cute. You want even lesbians that don't necessarily look at guys to stop and be like, you know what? Not bad. No, I can appreciate something nice. Okay. This was not it. Not to say that he was mediocre Joe Schmo, but he reminded me of my high school sweetheart. And not necessarily like, yes, he was attractive, but he not movie star quality. You know what I mean? So, and I think he would, that's kind of mean. I love you, Morgan, but I wonder if he would agree the same thing, but he's also had no interest in ever being in Hollywood, or that I know of. Anyway, but that's what it felt like to me, was like, I could have found him in my local high school. Like he probably but it wasn't like the Prince Charming that's supposed to swoon all the ladies in the land. You know what I mean? Or not Prince Charming. Sorry, Disney. So at this point, the witch in the apple scene comes up next, right? And I'm kind of like sitting like this because my mom we had finished the bucket of popcorn that we'd brought, and I had finished my box of Junior Mints. And at this point, I'm thinking to myself, this is so not worth the calories I'm going to have to walk off and burn for eating all of this, because I was literally that bored during this movie. until Miss Gal Gadot nailed it. Or Gal Gadot. I don't know how you want to pronounce it, but she nailed it. And it wasn't just truthfully, she nailed the whole queen. I think Gal Gadot is gorgeous anyway, but when your acting capabilities, when you are able to be turned into something as ugly as the prosthetics that she wore and be as amazing and convincing as she was, I was just like, okay, this is what we're talking about. This is the Disney magic. This is what we're getting it. We've started. Okay, it's unfortunate that it took all the way to this point to get this. First of all, the song was phenomenal. B, the transformation was phenomenal. C, costuming phenomenal. Makeup phenomenal. Acting and singing and all of it phenomenal. That scene was like chef's kiss. And I was just like, so there's two scenes now, two out of this entire movie that actually kept my attention: the dwarves and the witch turning and the queen turning to the witch. Not necessarily a good thing coming from someone who kind of told most of America to not come see the movie. So then we come upon the animals again. And first of all, I have to say, the squirrel and Dopey and the hedgehog, like, my faves. They made me laugh. They made me cry. If there's anybody, any characters or any emotion that came from me in that movie, it was the animals and Dopey. He made me cry. And then we come upon the outsiders. You know, the ruthless band of rebels that the not Prince Charming hangs out with in the forest. And they rob from the rich and give to the poor. We already added Alice in Wonderland. Why not add Robin Hood and his merry men? It literally was Little John and the Band of Thieves. I am dead serious. For anybody who actually saw the movie, they are laughing their butts off right now because you know what I mean by Little John. Okay. So, and honestly, that whole scene, literally the whole scene, I was watching it going, so they had to add characters and something into this movie in order to make it an actual live action, and this was it. No, this was not it. So, they could have literally gone without the entire, they didn't, if they had removed the entire outsiders section and just said that he lived in the forest with a group of rebels, you would have believed it. Like, you really, the thought of it was like, okay, it wasn't until they actually introduced all the outsiders in the group that I was just like, so this is Robin Hood. Oh, good gosh. Okay. So by this point, we now have the cohesion where the where the merry men and the animals and the dwarves all come together, and the prince kisses Snow White, and she wakes up, and honestly, boring. It was boring. It was boring. So, then we move into the whole where so that was supposed to be the extraordinary ending. That was supposed to be them riding off into the sunset and they lived happily ever after. But instead, no. Instead, Snow White had to go on a conquest to go. And this is the thing, is I'm not against what Snow White did. Okay. She decided to go back and stand up to the queen and fight for her people and say, look, I am the rightful ruler of this country. You, or these people, you have stolen all their money, and they want me to rule, not you. They're like, I did enjoy the message behind it. However, it was not the original message to Snow White. So first of all, if they were going to stick to the original, I really wish somebody would stick to the original story where they end up making the queen dance in red hot slippers until she dies. Where, Snow White comes galloping in with her Prince Charming, and he takes over the kingdom. And I love that ending. I love that ending. Well, I don't like it for me, but it's one of those fairy tale endings that you love. So during this ending, when Snow White comes up against the queen, the only thing that I could notice was literally the cloak. The queen's cloak was amazing. The costuming, you guys, the costuming on the cloak and the crown, the way it matched, the literally the stained glass type of piece effect that they did of the cloak, that stitching had to, like, that cloak had to have taken at least a month to make. At least, if not several people working on it for a week. And really, that's the only thing I got from the ending of it, because the ending was completely predictable. She, she stood up to the queen fought back, and truthfully, the whole, like, it was boring the way it ended, because they were like, I remember. Don't you remember a time when we all worked together? I remember. Like, it looked like a 5-year-old's stage play at the end. The closing song was disappointing. Why you would put Snow White in the same exact dress except white, complete, like, the last scene was so much white and so drowned out in white, there was no color except for Snow White's skin and hair. And it didn't match the whole storyline of Snow White. And on that, we left the theater. I don't even think we waited for the credits to start rolling. I don't remember seeing the end credits start rolling. I remember seeing my mom get up to leave, and I followed. So I left, and we go down to the lobby, and my mom was like, that was good. And I was like, that was good. That was okay. And it was not $300 million. Okay. And this lovely lady came up to us and was talking about, she said, oh, was that how much it cost? Was $300 million? And we got into this conversation about how her and her family have noticed, because they are Hispanic. Number one, there are Hispanic women who have skin that is extremely white and hair that is extremely dark. Second of all, she was upset because she's like, I'm a hairdresser. You could have made her hair black. Like, make her hair black. And third of all, we got into a discussion about how no one before ever noticed this whole diversity and inclusion into movies thing until they started pointing it out. She was right. I remember there being characters that were extremely diverse, that I remember male characters that dressed up like girls. I remember they had those characters in old movies. It just wasn't as predominantly shoved down your throat. And she was talking about how it's so abrasive, and like she actually objects to it. Even being a Hispanic, she objected to it because she said, nobody started creating. She's like, they're literally dividing us, and I don't understand why they don't get it. And my mom and I were like, no, we get it. We agree with you. So, and then my mom's opinion was, I'll have to double check with her because for some reason I'm drawing a blank. But my mom's opinion was basically that she was very disappointed in the music. She really didn't think that it was worth the $300 million. She agreed with me that the CGI and the queen, the dwarves and the queen, were the best parts of it. She thought it was worth the money. She was entertained by it, but it wasn't. She agreed with me that compared to Wicked, if you take Wicked and Snow White and you take away who's behind them, who created them, it's very clear that Wicked had the Disney magic that the Snow White should have had. And it's not there. The sparkle, the shine, the glimmer, the frosting, whatever you want to call it, the diamond effect that Walt used to give off of his movies, it's not there anymore. It was not there in Snow White. It was there in Wicked. So to me, it was just like, wow, you can definitely tell that the Imagineers that brought the magic to Disney went to Universal. And from what I'm hearing anyway, the new theme park that they just opened, oh, wow. Compared to how bad Disney has been failing in meeting their expectations and the changes to their parks, that is how much Universal is exceeding in expectations of their new parks. So, on that note, since my voice needs a break, because I've been talking for 40 minutes straight, we're going to jump into a 10-minute sprint. Actually, we're going to skip. I just thought about that. We're going to skip the 10-minute. We're going to go straight into a 20-minute because normally we would do a 20-minute sprint by now. So we're going to jump into a 20-minute sprint. When we come back, I am going to cover the new moon energies that we have up. And then I have the card readings for my clients. Tracy, you wanted an overall. Becky, you wanted about work. Noah, you wanted about the stocks. And Evie, you wanted about relationships. So when we come back, that's what we will be talking about. And Kate's muted. Let me add this to here. And I will see you guys in 20 minutes. 3, 2, 1. And don't All right, that's the end of that sprint. Hold on one second. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. So we're going to cover new moon stuff, and then I'm going to do the card pulls. I didn't have enough time to pull Tracy's and Noah's off screen, so I'll be pulling theirs on screen. So real quick, we're going to go over the new moon rituals. Amy, this would be a good one for you. The new moon is this Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So this would be a great ritual to do instead of going out. Amy? Okay. You know. So new moon rituals. Since new moons happen once a month and signify the beginning of a cycle, you can think of them as the cosmic reset. Okay. The new moon is an ideal time to set intentions and goals that you'll develop as the moon waxes towards its fullness. Connecting to these lunar energies can provide grounding and a sense of direction. Okay. New moon is a time for new beginnings, setting intentions, and releasing of old patterns. The do's of the new moon. The don'ts is oversharing or like not keeping your secrets hidden. During a new moon, it's not a good time to expose yourself. So when we align our intentions with this potent energy, we can plant our own seeds of manifestation, setting the stage for them to grow and to flourish into upcoming lunar cycles. Many empaths experience a sense of calm and fresh beginnings. Also, they find that it's a good time to focus on setting intentions, manifesting desired outcomes, engaging in self-care practices like meditation, journaling, or spending time in nature and recharge and connect. This is also a very good time for shadow working and journaling. Remember to honor the cosmic cycles and to trust that nature's flow of life, allowing for new opportunities and growth. So you're going to want to do sage, clear quartz, selenite, white candles, sandalwood incense, frankincense incense. You're going to want to use lavender, rosemary. Those are just some of the basics. So this is going to be a good time, especially to basically let go of past expectations and intentions and set forth renewed ideas and aspects, not asking for anything, just setting forth a renewed path of like, let me better myself so that maybe the cosmos will grant me what I need in the future. Okay. This is also a good time to change up your stocks. If you're looking at reinvesting or changing stock issues, this is a good time to do that as well. Especially for some of those, when I go over the horoscopes, you've got some really good energy this Tuesday, I believe, in financial sector. So doing investments in the financial sector on Tuesday might be very beneficial for many of you. Not all of you, but many of you. Okay. And just remember, this is a time for growth. We've got a lot. Okay. And I'm just going to cover this real quick so that my clients are aware. I'm not going to be able, when we come up on the aspects, the planetary aspects, because there are so many right now. Literally so many. I'm going to just cover the sun and the moon aspects in regards to their sextiles, their conjunctions, and their trins. For the Venus, Mercury, Venus, and Neptune, I believe all have sextiles and conjunctions as well. You're going to need to look up on your apps for those because it's just, guys, we'll be here for 4 hours if I go over all of that. But the planetary alignment that we're lining up now, and this is something that I saw, and then Stefan Barnes actually reiterated on his live stream. We're having a planetary alignment that's happening now that is going to realign again next year at the same time around January. This is that shift that I've been referencing to my clients all this time about how they're propelling us forward. There was two two directions we were going to take in this time period. It was either A, we were going to destroy ourselves, or B, we were going to better ourselves. And either one was going to be a difficult path. But from what I understand, we're on the right side of things, even though it doesn't seem like it right now. However, this change is inevitable, and the whole shift is going to realign itself in January of next year. So just know, when are you going to be able to breathe again? January of next year. Sorry. Don't kill the messenger. Okay. So on that note, for Noah, I didn't do the cards on your question, but I did do the book pull that you wanted. And you're going to text me, because I know you're watching. Let me know if this answers your question, or if you do want me to do a card pull, because we could always change your question on the card pull if this answers your question, okay? Because I want you to get your money's worth. I don't want you to pay for two questions and have the same answer to the same question, you know, if you know what I mean. So the first page was one that my finger caught on, and I made note of it because of, it says, snip, snip, snip. There may be situations or people that you wish to remove yourself from. You will need, and this gives you, I'm going to hold it up, and you can screenshot it as I hold it up. But this gives you a little ritual type spell thing to do for getting rid of people. Okay. So there's that one. And then we had, it's time for a quick release. So I found that interesting. And again, it's giving you a ritual type thing to do. So my suggestion is, before we answer the question on that, see if this answers a bigger question that maybe you didn't realize that one was needing an answer to. Okay, because your problem might not be in necessarily where you're investing, but who you're getting your advice from. Okay, so, and then we have, we're going to do Eve first. And Eve, yours was about your relationship. Okay, so in your situation, we have 4 cards, because when I was shuffling, one of the cards flies out. When a card flies out, we, as a psychic, you take that as a message that is something that is a predominant message. No matter what the other 3 cards say, your angels, and here, if you notice, I just burped because that's what always happens when they come in. Your angels are with you in the struggle on this. I don't want to say that you're like, I had to be very careful on how I worded that, because I don't want to say you're struggling in this, and I don't want to say that they're struggling with you in this, but they're with you in the struggle on this, if that makes sense. So this is something that this is a kind of a private message to you more than an answer to your question. Okay. So this says loyalty, trust, steadfast, self-respect, trusting that the conscious universe has your back. So I think this is a message, and this was the Bronzonite. I think this is a message from your angels of like, hey, don't worry. No matter what happens, we got your back. Okay. You don't have to be afraid. We got your back. So, because I don't blame you. I'm kind of as hesitant as you are to get into a relationship again. We've already shared stories, so we don't have to get into it. Okay, the next one you've got is Spirit Quartz, and it says connecting to community, universal love, harmony, and cooperation. I didn't want to say anything beforehand, but I was like, I hope I'm reading this right, because I think this might be a good thing. Okay, so the next one we have is the Christocola, and that is speaking your truth, heartfelt communications, and right speech. Oh, hun. Oh, hun. Okay. And then the last one is citrine. Yeah, citrine. And it's joyful expressiveness, exuberant and happiness, letting go of any and all negativity. So I think, and especially with the first message that came in and the overall, I think this is a very clear message that, hey, you got to trust that, you know, everything happens for a reason. Even though you're as hesitant, maybe you being as hesitant as you are indicates that it is the right thing. if that makes sense. So that makes me smile. That makes me happy. Okay, so Becky, and yours was in regards to the situation at work. So your first one was leap odololite. That one. I'm not going to try to pronounce it. Simplification, manageability, organization, one task at a time. Okay. And that's kind of what you said you were doing, is you're taking this one step at a time, but having an idea of what the outcome would be nice. And I don't blame you. So your next question was dermatite, which I thought was dermatitis when I first read it. It's meaning organizational, orderly, clutter clearing, list making. Okay, so current, well, basically okay. What I'm getting from that, and your angels just stepped in with more messages. What they're saying is basically you sticking to your course, you not getting more involved in the situation is like, we'll see what the final card is, but I'm hearing that is like your saving grace. The fact that you're just kind of like, you know what? You guys pulled me into this chaos. I'm not getting involved. I've already had my interview with the boss. I'm just going to stick to my work and do my work, and you guys can hammer it out the way you want to. And I think that is actually what's going to get you, because from what I can see, who's ever involved in this situation, they're not like, it's the only way to survive this situation is to get out and around it, if that makes sense. So your last card, which is the clear quartz, is amplification, magnification, expansion, and growth. Okay, so yeah. Okay, I wish I could do a third card. I'm going to do the book real quick. And I'm wondering if your angels are referencing that they can't give you like a clear, because I know your question was like, can I have clarity of an outcome? And this is where free will comes in, where your angels are probably trying to like delicately tell you, hey, we understand you're upset. We understand that having clarity for you might help. However, we don't have any clarity to give you because there's too much free will involved. And it's better to not give false hope. Then it's better. Like, I have found that angels are like, we'd rather keep them kind of in the dark than to give them false hope, because it's when you start when you give false hope and it falls through, they start losing faith. And there's only so many times you can do that. And with you, Becky, especially with the situation at home, at work, like having false hope is not going to help you at all. Not in any way, because what wow, that came in strong. They're referencing that's because you will change your behavior based on knowing an outcome. And right now it's imperative that you don't. So let me wear a ring on your little finger to improve your communication. So I'm thinking that your angels are basically trying to tell you, hey, girl, we want to give you an answer. We'd love to give you an answer. However, too much free will, too many people involved, and we're not going to give you false hope. We'd rather kind of have you walking on eggshells until we get, clarity in there. And angels are like that too. I mean, as they're putting it to me right now, when there's one or two paths to choose from, they feel far more comfortable saying, hey, it's going to be this one. But when there's over 100 to maybe 1,000 options or paths that can happen from this one point, because of how many people are involved, how many situations, or like how many levels there are and layers that there are to this onion, they're like, we're just not even comfortable saying it's going to be this direction, or this direction. At this point, all the lines are crossed and we can't tell where the positives and the positives are versus the negatives. And I agree, looking at it, it's just bright lights of color. Like, you've got white, green, red, and it's all intermixed. And I can definitely say there's a lot more white paths than red or green, but that's not necessarily a good thing. You really want more green paths and less red. It's kind of funny. It's kind of like red means stop, green means go, but white is the yellow line, All right. So Tracy, you wanted an overall. Okay. So, and you're a hardcore girl. So we're doing the night before Christmas cards. And I know that probably just made you giddy because you love night before Christmas. Okay, so just an overall. Oh. Okay. All right, before I pull the cards, I'm hearing that it's full steam ahead, full steam ahead. However, the only problems, the only situations, the only troubles, and the roadblocks or the stop signs that are going to come in have to do with family and outside sources, and most of them are family and friends. It comes from a projective nature. They can't see. The problem with your friends and family is they can see you going full head, full steam ahead. They're just they can't see what's beyond the track that's in front of you, and they're afraid that you're headed towards a wall. Your angels are referencing that the reason that they can't see what's in front of you is because it's an open void and you're on your way. Like you have so many, yeah, they're referencing that you have so many options in front of you. That's why your family is nervous because they just can't see where you're going. Okay. Oh, they're spinning that. Okay. So Temperance. Ooh, the High Priestess. 4 of Wands. 10 of Pentacles. And 5 of Pentacles. Okay. So we've got Temperance. We've got the High Priestess. We've got the Needles, which is also, I think it's Swords. Then we've got Presence and Presence. So you probably couldn't see what the bottoms of those were. So there's them again where you could probably see the bottoms. Okay, so we've got, and I already told you what I said. Okay, so we've got now isn't the time for excess extremes, so make sure you're maintaining balance in your life. Remember, whatever you put out, you'll get back. It's all about give and take. Embrace the flow. So your angels are referencing that you are full speed ahead, because that aligns with what they said, that you're full speed ahead. Okay, and the High Priestess might be why your family is uncomfortable, if I'm seeing that right. So the High Priestess. So we've got situations in your own life might not be what they appear. Check in with your intuition and trust your instincts to connect with the truth, which I already know you're doing. And that's why I'm saying things may not be what they appear, because I'm pretty sure that your family they're not panicking because they think you're going to fail. They're just panicking because they can't see where you're going. And with you, it's kind of like my parents. When they can't see where I'm going because of my history, they get a little nervous. So the 4 of Needles, the main message of this card, whether you're recovering from a recent battle or need to recharge and prepare for the future, it's time to pause and collect yourself. Okay. Okay, so we might need to pause and reassess things. Let's see what the next cards say. So we've got the 6 of Presents. No, that's candles. We want present. Give me presents. Where are you? That's potions. Where's presents? Okay, candles. Presents. I found them. I found the presents. Okay. All right, so the 6 of Presents, just so you know, I did find them. Share your treasures with others and let your loved ones know how much you appreciate them. It's time to give others the credit they deserve for helping you get. So it might be exactly what I said it was, that your family just can't see where you're going. Maybe your angels are trying to tell you, it's like the take pause is maybe it's time to talk with the family, let them know. Maybe not keep them so blindsided. Let's check with the final card, because they might be referencing that you might be a little surprised by their reaction. So generosity will bring you even more success. So, and then the last card, the last card, you've got you're on track and setting yourself up for success by building your plan on solid ground. Say thanks and be thoughtful with thoughtful gifts to those who have helped you get there. So this might be one of those situations like your family's panicking because they can't see where you're going, which my family would do the same if I was doing what you were doing. It might be time to just kind of pause and let them in. Let them know. Let them know what's going on, because you know, when you succeed, they're gonna have your back no matter what. And if they're and from what I can see, not everybody in your family is like my mom, but a lot of the members of your family are like my mom, where even through the difficult times, they may have maintained their distance, but they never stopped supporting you. And they would be so overjoyed to celebrate in your success. And their fear might simply be in the fact that they can't see where you're going. And pattern of behavior gives them the right to kind of worry about not knowing where you're going and being concerned that you might be running headlong into a wall. And I only say that because I can completely see my mother and my grandfather doing exactly the same thing for me. And I'm sure Sandy and Cora are sitting there nodding their heads as I'm saying this. So, and then Noah. Oh, I didn't forget about you, Noah. I swear I didn't. I might have, but the note reminded me. Okay. So, in regards to, you just wanted the direction. You just wanted to double check to make sure that you're going the right direction with your stocks. I remember that. Okay. So let's get this. Oh, I don't know if you guys heard that. No, but you've got very masculine angels. Whew. Muscle, man. That's honestly the energy I feel. Like they've like, hoorah, like military might energy. Okay, I need to focus not on the energy, but on the message. Okay. Wow, Noah. All right. Ooh. Well, first of all, no, I'm hearing silence is acceptance and reply to the email. So I don't know what that has to have is in regards to, but I would look into that. Okay, so we've got really, huh? Okay, y'all saw me let's shuffle those. So we've got the High Priestess again. Then we've got Candles. Then we've got Presence. So, High Priestess, we already know that. Use your intuition. Check with your intuition. Trust your instincts. Wait, that's... In other words, good job checking with your psychic and double checking your instincts and your intuition. That just clicked in my head. It's like, duh, this is a good job checking this way, evidently. Okay, so like trust your instincts, obviously. So yes, but you do always like your instincts. Trust again. Okay, so Candles. Hard work is paying off and you're getting the rewards you deserve. Keep the momentum going by turning the self-confidence boost into motivation for your next project. Keep the momentum going by turning this self-confident boost into motivation for your next project. Bro, what did you invest in? Because my gut is telling me it's about to pay off big time. Dude, what did you just invest in, man? Seriously. All right. And then you've got the Four of Presents. Give me my presents. I don't want potions. I want presents. Here you are. Why are the presents so hard to find? Four of Presents. Okay, so we've got stability at home, at work, and within your budget. You're on track and setting yourself up for success by building your plans on solid ground. Say thanks with thoughtful gifts to those who have helped you get there. Bro, I would love to know what stock you just invested in because, bro, it's about to pay off. So if you... Oh, you took my advice. Okay. So basically you took my advice from my last streams, is what you're saying. Well then, okay. I'm going to have to go back and look at that. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, witches, warlocks, and redders, we're going to jump into another 20-minute sprint. After this sprint, we are going to cover horoscopes. And yeah, and then we're going to call it a day. I'm going to, planetary aspects and then horoscopes. Yeah, so let me click our little button. We will jump into a 20-minute sprint. And I will see you guys in 20 minutes. In 3, 2, 1. Oh, wait, huh? Duh, do that. 3, 2, 1. And don't forget to mute yourself. All right, that's the end of that sprint. Okay, so I am going to, as quickly as I can, first of all, I always do that, don't I? First of all, I wanted to show off because here is the ticket stub for Snow White, just so you know. And then here's the lovely cup that I received as well. And Cora, you're going to have to let me know if you want this because we have 2 of them, and I think your little boy might get more fun and use out of that than I will. So it also comes with a lid and with a straw top. So just so you know, that is what I got from my Snow White trip. Next thing for Amy, this is the book I was referencing. I got this, which is surprising. I got this at the Hot Topic in the mall in Virginia. I believe it was Alexandria, Virginia. No. Yes. No. Richmond. No. Where was it? Wasn't Richmond. Woodbridge. Thank you. Woodbridge, Virginia Mall is at the Hot Topic there. That's where I got this. But this is the book I was referencing about cleaning out your space and figuring and like creating your sacred space within your home. A couple of things that I already had marked off was like household spirits and cleansing things, because you are waking up at 3:30 in the morning. That is also known as the bewitching hour. And you might need to be cleansing. You know, since the normal staging isn't working, we might need to lay down some extra protection. And that's the book that I was referencing to that you might want to look at for it. Okay. So on that note, now that I got that stuff out of the way, on that note, we're going to cover planetary energies along with the planetary aspects, but not all of them because there's so many right now. I'm just covering the sun and the moon. And then I'm going to go into horoscopes. And I'll explain how I do horoscopes when I get there. So for my clients that are taking notes, it is time. All right. So we've got sun in Aries. Energies leap forward in growth, opportunities for those who push forward. The go-getter type energies with a focus on individual goals. Moon in Aquarius, a need to break free from emotional ties. Restless and intellectual energies with the ability to filter emotion through logic. Mercury in Aries, remember we're in retrograde. Mental pursuits break down, best use for inner reflection. Don't make new decisions or start new projects. Extremely active mental energies, expression of thought in dynamic ways, stronger ability to argue with keen powers of intellect. Venus, which is also in retrograde in Aries. Impulsive and strong urges in love, bolder in romance with chances to make the move and enjoy the chase. Potential to be hasty in habits. Do not start relationships during Venus retrograde, especially also during Mercury retrograde. They're just going to end bad. Okay. Mars in Cancer, we've got focus on the domestic and emotional security, greater urgency to protect loved ones, and hypersensitivity in emotions. Jupiter in Gemini, opportunity for good fortune, stimulation and new experiences, curious and witty energies. Saturn in Pisces, we've got a pull to reflect on past experiences, oneness with the divine. Neptune moves into Pisces at the end of this month, or Neptune is in Pisces at the moment. So we've got greater emphasis on all things mystical and magical, and spirituality will be embraced collectively. On March 30th, Neptune moves into Aries, which creates ripples in the collective consciousness and sets up a new generational cycle to work with. Start to focus on our personal identity and move away from the collective thought. Pluto in Aquarius is significant changes in humanity that begin with sudden endings. Level of progression will be extraordinary. Chiron is in Aries, which is the wounded healer. Acknowledgement of concealed traumas, opportunity for growth and deep understanding. If you're one of those people who have been doing a lot of self-work, a lot of self-growth, a lot of self-assessing, also what we call shadow working in the Wiccan world, that is why Chiron in Aries is influencing a lot of people that have those deep-seated traumas to assess and deal with them. Planetary aspects. These are the sextiles, the conjunctions, and the squares and the trins. Mostly sextiles and conjunctions today. Okay, guys? Sun moon sextile. People are generally very attractive to in relationships and attracted to others. Sun conjunction with Mercury, we've got sharp analytical minds and a strong sense of self-expression. Sun conjunction in Venus is possessing the fine understanding of balancing the relationships, especially love and romance, with the idea of securing relationships whenever essential by being diplomatic and reducing the ego. Sun in Pluto, achieve your ambitions, tap into your inner resources, and become an inspiration for others. Social force for social better, a source for social betterment. There we go. Diction. Moon sextile Mercury, dreamlike influences of imagination, intuition, and subconscious gets a huge boost right now. Moon sextile Venus, favorable aspects for domestic and partnership issues. Let me emphasize that again. Issues. And intimate relationships will be especially important and meaningful to you. Moon sextile Neptune enhances emotional intuition and sensitivity. This aspect boosts creativity, imagination, and allows for a deeper artistic thought. Moon conjunction with Pluto is a co-creation, more upheaval to express any suppressed emotions. At the same time, some may bury their childhood memories, which can come out aggressively when triggered later in life. So we're going to have those that are dealing with their emotional issues and being very expressive about it. And then we've got those that are just burying everything and shoving it under the surface. Okay. And that's what happens with Pluto and the moon's conjunction with it, because they don't necessarily always get along. Okay. Just know that the moon and Pluto, let's just say the moon is a little protective over the planet Earth, and Pluto likes to create change, especially with significant changes in humanity that begin with sudden changes. So the moon is feeling a little protective right now. Okay. All right. So is Gaia in general. But on that note, I also want you all to pay attention. We have one of the biggest solar holes, pretty much, that is coming towards the planet. It is causing a plasma wave, along with the alignment of us with Mercury and Venus, who are both in retrograde at the moment. Guys, if you are a hypersensitive, if you are an empath, and you feel like you are crawling out of your skin, that is why. The level of energies that are going on right now, my best suggestion is to ground as much as possible. If you're a fire sign, meditate on a flame. If you're an earth sign, go get your feet out in the grass. If you're an air sign, listen to the wind. If water sign, take a shower, take a bath, go swimming, go to the river, go to the ocean, and listen. Okay. You're going to need to do a lot of grounding within the next little while, because that's just the sun and moon aspects, guys. That's not even the influences of Venus and Mercury, especially in alignment with us. So for my clients, as I cover horoscopes, because most of you already do the horoscopes, I want you to pull up your apps and go into the aspects that I missed. And I want you to look at the influence. And as you're listening to me go over the horoscopes, I want you to see how Mercury, Venus, and Mars, their conjunctions and their trends are also influenced within the horoscopes. Okay. So for anybody who's new here, or for anybody who's come in for the horoscopes, a little rundown on how I do horoscopes here. Basically, we start with Aries and we go all the way through to the end. I leave Scorpio for the end because I am a Scorpio, and if I try to do Scorpio in the middle, my angels come in with messages and I get all discombobulated, and it's just not worth it. So I'm going to cover Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday's energies. I'm going to just kind of rush over Monday because we're already at the end of it, and I cover Mondays just as more of a confirmation of, hey, am I in the right? Is this what happened to me today? Yes, no, can I see it? Everything else. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, obviously, to get you prepped for the rest of the week. Just a heads up, Wednesday is going to be stress-filled, resentful, guilty, a lot of heightened sensitive emotions on Wednesday. So just everybody, no matter who you're dealing with, no matter what sign you have in your family or your friends group or whatever, coworkers, just know that on Wednesday, walk around like eggshells are everywhere. Like Walls City is entirely made of eggshells, because there's going to, if anything bad goes down politically, it's probably going to go down Wednesday. That's what I'm going to say. Okay. So for my Aries, so today we had reviewing and observational energies leading to new improvements and ideas, strong impactful energies and communications and conversations, problem solving, resolution oriented energies with the ability to see the bigger picture by the end of the day. On tomorrow, you're going to have positive and intense energies and interactions and engagements, revising, reassessing energies with a focus on the long term and the ability to rid that of which does not serve you. Strong resolution oriented and problem solving energies, again, in conversations, do come in by the end of the day, allowing for a clearer state of mind, especially in future endeavors. By Wednesday, you've got stress-filled and tension-oriented energies in conversations and connections, strain and pressure-filled energies on the home and family environment. Positive change and growth-oriented energies do come in by the end of day with an undertone for irritating others. You have a strong ability to express yourself naturally in conversations by the end of day. So that's what I mean by Wednesday. It's even happening to Aries. It's going to be a little bit crazy for you, okay? For Tauruses, on Monday, we got understanding and informative energies with the ability to see things with fresh eyes on Monday. Insightful and forward-moving energies with the ability to drop unnecessary burdens. Dreamy and wishful energies do come in with the underlying unconscious messages. Connecting and releasing energies for family and home with the chances to revitalize for future goals by the end of the day. On Tuesday, you've got persuasive and communication-oriented energies with a strong pull towards finishing projects and tasks. Insightful and epiphany-filled energies do come in relationships by midday, with creative and honest energies and thoughtful embraces by the end of day. On Wednesdays, you've got guilt and resentful-filled energies with the ability to focus on doubts and the negatives. Helpful to slow down type energies come in. Helpful and slowing down type energies come in that allow you to focus towards the midday. But by the end of the day, you've got strong urges and cravings for mental stimulation with a gravitation towards excitement and change. So just be wary, Tauruses, okay? Because when Tauruses feel a strong stimulation to have change in their life, they can often jump to conclusions, it's not necessarily the right change that they tend to make. So just be wary, okay? For my Geminis, on Monday, we've got complicating and misunderstanding type energies and communications and information. You've got reviewing, navigating, and processing type energies with the ability to rediscover interests to make better decisions for the bigger plan in the future. Strong energies and information, especially in the socials and friends sector, does come in towards the end of the day, allowing for great insight. On Tuesday, you've got focus on strong and deep-seated emotions with an attraction and relatable energies. Disrupting and confusing energies in commitments and relationships comes in midday. Intuitive and stabilizing energies in romance and personal relationships with a unique and interesting undertones comes in end of day for you. Tuesday for you Geminis is literally going to be you're going to be doing this number for the next 2 days, okay? For Wednesday, you've got frustration and attention-oriented energies in money and ownership, insecure and decision-making energies in the long-term plan with a need for balance and stability, abrupt, pressure-filled and unpleasant energies with a focus on creativity and work and responsibilities comes in end of day, okay? Do not be your own worst enemy on Wednesdays, Geminis, okay? Be mindful, self-distract, radical acceptance, okay? Those are going to be your key indicators on Wednesday. For my Cancers, you've had fast forward moving energies with a focus on realigning yourself for the future. You've got reviewing, reassessing, and changing energies in business in the work center with observational, revising, revitalizing, and direction changing oriented energies with a focus on the long term and invulnerable areas of your life. So you Cancers, today has been all about like, what am I getting rid of in my life and moving on from? On Tuesdays, you're going to have strong, supportive, and confident energies with underlying helpful energies, especially with family and friends. Strong social and attractive energies in the social sector and career, with discovery and research-oriented energies towards the end of day, allowing you for repairing in relationships and business. On Wednesday, you've got strong directional energy with self-oriented energies with a pull towards independence. Okay. Tension, anger, and explosive energies with inner stresses towards others is midday on Wednesdays. Uncomfortable and self-doubting energies causes quick decision making towards the end of day. Wednesday is going to be a slow down to speed up kind of day, and self-soothe and mindfulness. Okay, for my Cancers. And very much be careful, Cancers, because you are so sensitive emotionally and everybody else is going to have a bad day kind of on Wednesday. Don't let other people's emotions influence your emotions. It's going to be one of those very difficult days for you Cancers to keep that bubble up, but it's going to be imperative for you. Okay. And I know a lot of my Cancers work, or else I would say hide. But I know, unfortunately, some of us can't stay home and hide. For my Leos, today you've had strong informational and insightful energies, especially in thought and observations. Insightful and helpful energies in past thoughts and decisions, especially in plans and tasks. Inspiring and interesting, enlightening energies in conversations and communications have been coming up today. Rediscovering, revising, and redirecting with new perspectives, especially in education and travel, does come in towards end of day. And I know exactly whose angel just stepped in and why that was so strong. Inspiring and charming type energies with strong enthusiasm in social sectors starts out your Tuesday. Strategy-oriented and bold energies with a strong integrity and reliable thought process in business and connections. Ability to learn from your past mistakes with strong mental and growth-oriented energies do come in by end of day. On Wednesday, for my Leos, you've got reassessing, revising, and improving with empowerment energies on all levels, okay, for the whole day. Past insecurities and mistakes come to the forefront with the ability to reassess and move past. Tension-filled, opinionated energies do come in with a bit of sensitivity in emotions by the end of day. Watch for displacement of emotions on others and self-soothe when needed. So be mindful of how you're coming off on other people, Leos, because remember, sometimes my Leos can be that burning fire and not even realize that they're singeing people, okay? So Wednesdays, you're going to want to be aware of that. For my Virgos, on Monday, we've got motivating, exploring energies, especially in the deeper self. Aligning and analyzing energies and desires in the intimate areas comes in with investigative and discovery-filled energies in relationships and situational affairs. Insightful, confident, creative, and directional-oriented energies in conversations and commitments by end of day. On Tuesdays, you've got reorganizing, reassessing, and streamlining energies and duties and responsibilities with an underlying focus on health and home. Positive and change-oriented energies in the unnecessary or even energy-draining areas comes in with the problem-solving, solution-oriented, and positive conversation energies in business, money, and finances by the end of the day. Excellent researching and researching and editing mental energies add a boost for your future. So basically, you're going to have strong energies towards work on Tuesday. Wednesday, overwhelming and indecisive energies with a strong possibility for drama and extremes comes in on Wednesday. Frustration and irritation in interactions with a strong undertone of worry and concern. This is a time to acknowledge emotions and move on. Don't dwell and stay in them. Use rational mind when needed. Calming and easygoing type energies do come in by end of day. So self-soothe and just Radical acceptance until you can get to the end of the day. Okay, Virgos on Wednesday. For my Libras, we've got strong, thought-provoking, and illuminating energies in relationship and past in restart. For my Libras, on Monday, we've got strong, thought-provoking, and illuminating energies, especially in relationships, past and present. Rethinking, reassessing, and reconsidering energies in conversations and situations. What over-serving and investigational energies do come in with helpful undertones, and the ability to magnify problem areas do come in by end of day. So Libras, you're probably having a rough time right now. My heart goes out to you. On Tuesdays, you're going to have good problem-solving and skill-based energy with the ability to see the bigger picture. Sensitive and understanding energies do come in with limitations and barriers, with a great conversational energies towards the midday. Impulsive and impatient energies do come in by end of day. Just remember, they're referencing for my Libras on Tuesdays. Don't jump to conclusions. Don't assume things. Get your facts before you decide that you're going to just believe everything that comes up in conversations and communications, okay? On Wednesdays, you've got demanding and restricting energies and opportunities and interests. Stress-filled and imbalanced energies in productivity and duties comes in with sensitive, revealing, and insecure emotional energies with helpful undertones in partnerships and relationships by end of day. Wednesdays, Libras, your emotions or your egos are going to get bruised and battered. So be mindful, radical acceptance, self-soothe, self-distract, okay? For my Sagittariuses, Monday, today, you've had insightful, revelation-based energies with the need to review old methods and ideas. Creative and inspiring energies with the possibility for epiphanies with creative undertones in romance and the intimate. Receptive and open energies and opportunities with the ability to shed the old. Revelations and discoveries and conversations and commitments by the end of day. Tuesdays, you've got confident, supportive, and harmonizing energies with the ability to maintain outside circumstances effectively. I read that right. I wrote that right and I read that right. Okay, just wanted to check. Strong resolution and psychic energies with the ability to thrive in focus. Persuasive and expressive energies and discoveries and inspirations, especially of others, with the ability to provide considered objectionable conversations by end of day. Basically, the ability to argue without arguing is what they're saying that you're going to be able to do Tuesday, Sagittarius. All right. On Wednesday, we've got indecisive and in-between energies in romance and connections, pressure-filled, worried, and oppressive energies with the tendency to rush things comes in. Overstimulating, overwhelming, intuitive energies with the ability to go with the flow does come in, but with connections to the emotion is sensitive and stronger by the end of day. Okay. So self-soothe the emotions. Don't let your own ego beat your own ego on Wednesdays, okay, Sagittarius? For my Capricorns, on Monday, you've got analyzing, sorting, organizing, and reassessing energies in past and family issues. Respectful and expressive energies in communications and conversations with problem solving and explorative type energies in discussions and ideas with strong understandings of future wants and needs by the end of day. On Tuesday, you've got discovery-based energies with insightful and researching energies in income, finances, and practical matters. Appreciative and thankful energies in family and home, especially with learning, understanding, and discovery-based undertones. You'll have the ability to eliminate excess expenditures and unneeded energy wasters by the end of day. On Wednesday, you've got frustrating, irritating, and defensive type energies with sensitive undertones. You're going to have the ability to focus and magnify all problems and negative areas in your life. Vulnerable and concerning energies with a focus on the negative emotions does come in by the end of day. For my Capricorns, I literally have emotional regulation, distress tolerance, mindfulness, self-soothe, radical acceptance, all listed for you. So for my Capricorns, you tend to actually be sometimes the most sensitive of the signs, okay? Be very careful of yourself on Wednesdays. For my Aquariuses, on Monday, We had discovering, inspiring, reviving type energies with learning undertones, and especially in communication and connections. Helpful yet tricky energies in the long-term pursuits and interests. Perspective-oriented, intuitive, and insightful energies and ideas and discussions by end of day. On Tuesday, we've got refreshing, considerate, and impressive energies in conversations and communications. Sharp perspective-oriented energies with insightful and strong ability to understand multiple perspectives. Positive, impactful, and appealing energies and projects with a strong intuitive undertones by the end of day. On Tuesdays. For Wednesdays, we've got insecure, unsettling, and uncomfortable energies in all areas and functions. Uncertainties in conversations and intuitions, sensitive emotional energies with vulnerable undertones, especially in tasks and projects. Teaching and healing type energies do come in end of day with an emotional piece. So just know that Aquariuses, you seem to be the few signs that actually get an emotional reprieve by the end of day on Wednesdays. Lucky you. Okay, for my Pisces, today we had restful and recuperating type energies with strong emotional focus, especially in your private sector. Informational and insightful energies in money and business came in with a focus on talents and possessions. New perspective-based energies with problem solving and new perspective-based and problem-solving energies, especially in money and business, with the possibility for new beginnings in conversations and thought, comes in by end of day. On Tuesday, we've got energies in finance and money that come into focus again with the stress to eliminate waste. Reviewing, reassessing, and revising energies in the all outward areas. Insightful and practical problem-solving energies in finances and conversations by end of day. Pisces, it's all about money right now for you, okay? Tension-filled, sensitive, and pressure-filled energies with the ability to be dramatic does come in on Wednesday. Insecurities and difficulties with yourself, especially with a focus on money and emotions. However, by the end of the day, you do have confident, engaging, and forthcoming energies, especially in emotions and feelings by the end of day. So Pisces, I guess you guys get the emotional reprieve too, but yours is a little bit more self-serving. So for my Scorpios, last but not least, on Monday, we had learning and organizing energies and routines and work, clarity and illuminating in discussions, and genuine desire for order, insightful and improving energies and projects and ideas with the ability to make critical changes and improvements with strong evolutionary significance. On Tuesday, you've got bonding and relationship building energies and conversations and communications. Courageous and passionate energies with the ability to revise, review, especially in family and routines. Productive and improving energies in repairing difficult relationships with a chance for opportunities by the end of day. On Wednesdays, you've got unpredictable and expressive energies and emotion with a strong sense of change. Unsatisfying and dull energies with a push for change and need for excitement. Be wary not to cause your own problems. Confident and inspiring energies with defensive undertones can cause for messy emotions. Encouraging and empowering energies with the need for fun come in by end of day. Don't be your own worst enemy. Scorpios is basically don't get bored and end up being your own worst enemy is my warning for Scorpios on Wednesday. Okay. Not everybody is going to be in the mood to handle your hyper crazy fun. Most of the time we come off and people are like, oh my God, I love your energy. Wednesday is going to be one of those days where people are like, you are too much for me. So just be wary, Scorpios. Okay. And on that note, we have hit our 2-hour mark. So I would like everybody to join me in raising your class. First of all, I did it again. I would like to thank all of my replay crew. I do see you and I appreciate you. The numbers going up. Secondly, to the company that keeps trying to copyright claim the songs on my live stream. I made those timers and those songs. I created those songs myself in GarageBand. Stop trying to copyright songs I created. Thank you. Appreciate it. Third, please, if you did like my stream and you do want to come back and hear more readings, more horoscopes, everything else, I am here Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at 5 o'clock. Like and subscribe and ring that bell to get the notifications. YouTube doesn't usually push my videos because I'm such a small channel, but I would love to get to 500 subscribers by June if I could. And on that note, raise your glasses, and while I'll say it, may your angels be strong, may your energies be positive, and may karma be ever in your favor. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.